Hi, guys, me again, and welcome to Being Bubbly, episode 10. If you are watching on YouTube, you will see that we have two very fabulous guests with us today. And if you are not watching on YouTube and you are listening to anywhere you listen to a podcast, I am so excited to announce we have Lindsey and Samantha Johnston, my sisters, joining us for episode 10. Ladies, hello.
Hi.
Lindsey was a little late to the party. She showed up, I believe it was
15.
15 minutes late,
hmm
but that's okay. We're making up for lost time.
I think Dad calls this Duchess time.
Yes,
I
Lindsey
call
is
it John B time.
Lindsey is on Duchess and John B time because John B is always late, but that's okay. Welcome to Being Bubbly, both of your first podcast experience.
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. How does it feel?
I don't like listening to myself, so this isn't going to be ideal.
Yeah, I don't like listening or looking at myself talk. So
Well, perhaps a
I
video
won't be catching this
podcast.
on YouTube. I won't be catching this on YouTube.
Yeah, no. Only because I edit it, so I listen to the episodes 3 times before they get published. So by the time it's published, I don't listen to them because I'm like, I can't hear myself talk or watch myself. So I get that. Very excited to hear and see you today.
Thank you for
Great.
having us.
Yeah, very
Um,
excited.
So, for anyone who doesn't know, which again, most of my audience probably knows, but Lindsey is my older sister, and then Samantha is my younger sister. So, I am the middle of the two of them. Would you like to add anything to your bio I just gave you?
Sure, I guess. I'm Lindsay. Taylor's our older sister. I live in Connecticut. I'm 34, mid 30s,
No, that's not mid 30s.
not
Yes.
early 30s. It's mid.
30.
That's mid 30s.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Ooh, okay. I'm lower 30s.
32, 33.
32.
I don't know your ages.
I don't know yours.
I am Sam. I am Taylor and Lindsay's little sister. I also live in Boston, about 15, 20 minutes from Taylor and Kevin. And I am 28.
I always forget your age. Lindsay's age, I know.
Yeah, Sam's I can't keep track of.
No.
But I also don't know like what grade you teach. And like we go over this
Kindergarten every time. You
every
teach
single time.
fourth grade.
You think
for
she
5
teaches
years.
kindergarten?
Yeah,
Every
I've taught
single time.
fourth grade for 6 years every time. Will you teach kindergartners? No.
So when she sends pictures, are you like, that's a large kindergartner?
Yes, I am. I'm very confused. Like, wow. It's like I think kindergarten I was learning like the ABCs with like puppets. And she's got like math equations. And I'm like, huh.
Because they're 10.
Yeah.
But okay.
Always a kindergarten teacher.
Nope. Was for 1 year.
All right, well, let's get into it because Lindsay so humbly shared with me that my intros are a little bit too long and that I repeat myself. So we want to jump right into it so that I am not repeating myself. So let's go ahead. So excited for today's episode. We are going to talk all things sisters. We, of course, are going to hear from Samantha herself. Obviously, last week's episode, we talked about her engagement and the engagement plan. So I know the audience is waiting to hear. Did she say yes? Samantha, did you say yes?
I did say yes.
Yes, she did.
Be very awkward if I didn't at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we will shift into just talking about sisterhood and kind of how or where we stand with each other now, and then kind of how we've like grown as sisters since we were younger. And then, of course, last but not least, the real reason as to why both of you are here is to talk about being an auntie and moo. So really excited. And then at the end, we are going to play a little game that I put together. So that will be very exciting. Before we jump in, of course, have to do a Lily fit check. Lindsay, did you wear your Lily today?
That wasn't in.
Was it in the instruction? I did.
But I'm
So that right there
okay.
just shows you that Lindsay is a regular listener, because if she was a regular listener, she would know that I do a Lily fit check every episode.
Mine. Taylor wore mine too, because that's mine.
Yes, well, I wore that in honor of you. This is actually Samantha's. This is like a little vintage Lily number. It's old.
Senior year of school.
Yeah. Yeah, and Lindsay's wearing a lovely pink top. J. Crew?
Yes, actually, it is.
Okay, well, there we go. We'll go with J. Crew.
It's preppy, so it works.
It works. Sure, it's pink. Why not?
Yeah.
All right. So, if you did not get a chance to listen to Being Bubbly episode 9, just a little selfish plug there, please go ahead and listen because I share all about the drama and everything that goes, not drama, but there was drama leading up to it. It's a very stressful thing to plan an engagement. Lindsey and I understand. But we talked all about Samantha's engagement and all the plans that went into her engagement weekend. So, of course, we have to start there. I know in our intro, Samantha said yes to John B. We are very excited. But Sam, would love to hear how you are feeling being an engaged woman.
Well, obviously, it was super exciting in the moment. I had no idea. John and I have been arguing back and forth this week because he's like, "You knew," and I was like, "I had no idea whatsoever." But
You knew it was coming.
I knew it was
You
coming.
thought it was this weekend.
I thought it was going to be yesterday, and thank God it wasn't because it was terrible weather here in Boston.
We were saying that.
Yeah.
Like, we literally got the only like not rainy Saturday, and
It was
It
rainy.
rained.
it rained,
Set
but,
up
like,
and like
wasn't.
took everything down 3 different times in the afternoon.
Yeah. It was
Or that
very
stuff.
stressful to set up for a party.
But overall, I think we got one of the nicer Saturdays we've had in a very long time. But I knew it was coming in the next couple of weeks. I had no idea it was going to be that day, and I think like the fact that I was being not the kindest person beforehand and like didn't want to go on that walk and was just like, why are we doing this? I kept questioning, why are we going this way? Why do we have to go and sit and take pictures? Like, I wanted no part of it. So, like, clearly I was definitely surprised.
Fair. When Lindsey didn't turn on Rose Hill, I was also like, why are we going this way?
Yeah, that was weird to me.
Always go down Main Street. I like the scenic route and more steps.
Yes,
All
I
about
wasn't
the step
in the
now.
mood for steps at
No.
home. But no, I feel very lucky to have 2 wonderful sisters that put a lot of work into it because I know John B, his quote was, "I didn't realize the logistics that go into planning a proposal." And I go, "Uh-huh."
I didn't either until I helped plan yours because obviously for mine I was not a part of. So the two of you did not let me know.
But with yours though, the difference I think was like Kevin wanted no part in me trying to help. Like Kevin was just like, "I got it," and I was like, "You need a plan B. It's gonna rain. I got it." And so there really wasn't a lot of planning and logistics because Kevin didn't want to hear it.
You know, he's going to be like on the mountain.
Yeah,
And
it's like that was it.
Like literally, we watched the forecast that week and like, hey, what's your plan B? And he's like, I don't need a plan B. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, so we went for a hike in the pouring
pouring
rain.
rain.
That was
I was so pissed.
I felt bad because I felt like I didn't want to like step on John's toes of being like overtaking everything. However, we made an executive decision that it just needed to be done.
That's fair. He knew. Like he knew. I told him very clearly, I go, you know my family. Like, you know they're gonna be a part of it, whether we want them to or not. Like, and
Lindsey knows
very
this.
long ago.
He had a lot of great ideas. He had a lot of ideas that came out of left field. And we were like, all right, let's kind of ground ourselves back to the reality here because this isn't going to work. But
what was his most out of pocket idea?
Getting us all to Burlington.
Yeah, we decided on Fairfield, like, and like basically at the weekends narrowed it down. And he goes, actually, I'm thinking like, what about Burlington? And I just go,
he's like, she'll never expect it. We're like, you mean to tell us you guys haven't been back to Burlington in how many years? All of a sudden, when she knows the summer you're getting engaged, well, let's go take a trip to Burlington.
Yeah, no, that would have been a dead giveaway.
that was my
Lindsey. Lindsey was like, I'm not going to Burlington.
I'm sorry. Like, Sam's lucky I got up there for graduation. Like, that is freaking far.
It is far. Yeah, no, that would have been a giveaway. So probably for the best.
Yeah. Oh, and the fact that he wanted to do, because it was happening Saturday, which was the Fairfield 5K, and he wanted to go for a walk down at like Penfield and Jennings Beach. And I was like, well, there's a 5K
too, because we never walked over there.
That's what I said. So that's, if you listen to last week's episode, people, I said, keep it inside the box for an engagement. You don't want to get crazy.
Yeah, no.
Because that's a dead giveaway. And what lesson did we learn, ladies?
Are your nails done?
No, don't ask about the nails. Because that also gave it away to you a little bit that it was coming.
No,
yes, that was Lindsey and
Mom's fault. I was sitting in the office. You FaceTimed Mom, and I happened to be in Fairfield, or at that point, it was like, I think Wednesday, because like Taylor was coming with Millie Thursday morning, so obviously I had to be there to see Mo.
Obviously.
I don't.
No,
She doesn't come to Franklin
I
without me.
I know I FaceTimed mom. Mom goes, "Let me see your nails." But the fact is,
You waved your hand in front of the camera, so she saw the pink and goes, "Oh, let me see your nails." And then I said, "Oh, what color did you get?" Because you were in a wedding. So I was like, "Oh, let me
yeah,
see."
but the fact that you added in an extra, "Oh, let me see," and like came around to come see, I was like, when has Lindsey ever cared about the status of my nails? Like, that was weird.
Very.
Mom being
At
like, "Let me
least
see your nails."
she said that they were nice.
Yeah, I mean, she's the one who she said pink, because I called you too on the way to get my nails done, and you also were like, "Oh, what color are you doing?" Like, you asked twice in a week about my nails, and it was weird.
That's sus.
I thought I was natural.
We will.
Have you ever asked me about my nails before? So no, I was natural.
Not now.
I figured like, oh, maybe it's happening like this current weekend because I still have them on.
That's what I
So I was
thought.
like, maybe it's gonna happen the next weekend because I would still have them. So I was like, maybe they're just checking for that.
Yeah. Lindsey and I really, really went out of our way to throw you off the scent of last weekend, all the way down to like a cake box on the
How do you
counter
need
so
to
that you thought it
register
was
that stuff?
mom. Mom wanted to have the cake made, and we were like, okay, that might be like a waste of a cake. Like, we were all trying to think of like the most intricate things that
I
would throw
know.
you off.
But after
That
you were like, "Did you notice all the staging?" And I was like, "No." I was so just like exhausted. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
not. And to the audience, I was not hungover, and I do not have an issue that Taylor
Okay,
made
so
it sound like.
okay.
I was perfectly good. I was just tired.
On the theme of I do sometimes repeat myself, I guess I had said a few times that I was worried about Samantha's behavior at the wedding.
Jennifer, and
I
don't.
was never worried about her. I was
But several
okay,
times.
but that
Which I do sometimes.
I was gonna say that's we all do. So just want to clarify that Samantha was actually not hungover. I was very surprised.
I was up before everyone else, like doing folding, packing. Lizzie and John both woke up and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Also dead
I
giveaways,
was like, "I'm
guys.
just
Thanks.
packing."
Yeah, we were counting the glasses of red wine you were sending us via photos and videos. We were a little concerned
Drove to
Friday
Fairfield.
night.
John didn't even drive.
I know.
Drove. John
Which
was
that was his
surprised
one job was
he
to drive.
no, he asked me to drive so he can eat his bacon, egg, and cheese from Dunkin' Donuts.
Fair.
So
And also he was doing a lot of texting.
yeah, I figured. That's why I drove.
Yeah. A couple of retractions from last week's episode that I feel I must share. And shout out to Lindsey for again reminding me of all of these
All her friendly notes, we'll call them.
yeah, friendly notes. She has quite a few. Lindsey is the one who told John B to put the ring on hold, not, I believe I said we. So Lindsey is, thank you for that. Yes, Lindsey told John B that he needs to put the stone on hold because it's one of a kind, which is fair. I chimed in after, but she originally was the one who
Well, because
said
it was
do
like the
it and
text
sent
chain. It
him
was like,
threatening text messages.
it was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna think about it." I'm like, "Okay, but you love it." And he's like, "Yeah, I just want to like take a day," which I get. But I'm like, "Did you put it on hold?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "Put it on hold."
You sent him threatening
It's like,
text messages.
I'm like, if somebody walks in like right now and buys that stone, like it's theirs.
To the point where I texted him on the side and was like, just ignore her.
I'm just thinking of the episode of Friends with Phoebe
Yeah,
when the guy walks out and she gets the musket. She's like, "Give me the ring."
Yeah, that would have been
Taylor's like,
Lindsay.
"What's the
Yeah.
order was?"
No,
I'm like, "No, it's a one of a kind stone. Like it's gone. Like when it's gone,
you
it's
were
gone."
correct. You were correct.
Yeah.
You were right.
So you're welcome.
Also, I said at the end of the episode that mom always used to say less is best. And what did she say? Less is more. Okay, well, less is best sounds better.
And our favorite family meteorologist. While we do love a good
Oh.
Al Roker.
Okay, yes. I got a text last Monday from Paxton and she was like, I'm hurt. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought about that. So I would like to say, although we love Al Roker, and yes, I do listen to him daily for my daily weather forecasts, we do have a family meteorologist who is our favorite, Paxton Ryan, previously known as Paxton Fell. You are our favorite meteorologist. I just meant in the terms of I got my Saturday weather report from Al Roker. If you would like to send me daily weather reports, Paxton, I welcome that. But yes, I would also like to add that because she was very upset by that.
I love the call out though, Pax. Good move.
Yeah. And she also loved that I shared with her you had sent me several call outs as well. And she said, classic Duchess. I love it. So that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, in terms of last week's episode, other than that, I think it was pretty good, but just a few things I wanted to clear up. But in terms of Samantha's weekend, I have spent a lot of time and a lot of hours talking about it. So I'm pretty much done. But just one more question. Where are we with the wedding planning process and how do you feel 1 week in?
Well, we have our guest list because
Lindsey and I are laughing because we already know.
I have my guest list because apparently our parents already wrote theirs like before I was engaged. So then I got yelled at for not having mine prepared ahead of time. So we did ours. It's a lot of people. I'd say about 70% is mom and dad's list currently.
Sounds about right.
5% mom.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I will say, I looked at it when they first were like, oh, we have our guest list. It's X number of people. I was like, that's insane. I looked at it. It was all very accurate. Like there was no one on there that I was like, take them off. So, I mean, I think that's just, we have a big family too, which like does not help. But we are hopefully going to go look at a venue this weekend up in Stratton, aiming for fall of 26. No, sorry. Yeah, fall of 26.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of waiting to see logistics of that, what weekends they have available. Other than that, that's really all we got going right now. But I
would say you have it pretty. You already know where.
Yeah,
it's just like
I know exactly where it's at, and I want.
You already have certain vendors you want.
I know a band that I want to reach out to. I know like Fiddlehead will be a main component of it. So Fiddlehead, if you hear this, want to sponsor?
Yes, Fiddlehead looking for sponsors. Being Bubbly. Thank you very much.
Oh, not your podcast sponsor my wedding, but your podcast too. That'd be great.
Sponsor both, please. Thank you.
But yeah, I've had a lot of it like planned of what I've wanted, but I can already tell like I'm going to be done very quick, like dealing with this. Mom's called me every night this week. I'm like, why do you keep calling? And she'll like claim it's just to chat.
This is music to my ears.
She'll claim it's just like just to hang out and like just chat with me. And I'm like, no, you want something. And then Dad's
going in the background.
Going in the background. We already had our first. He said he was pretending to ignore me. Yeah, it's like I don't even
moon pie dad.
Yeah,
dynamic.
Moon pie dad relationship
might not make it through wedding season.
Yeah. We'll come back.
And to the poor woman that needs to get back to dad if she doesn't do it by 10 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah. Holy hell. Godspeed to her.
Yeah, but we'll check in a couple months, and I
was going to say we'll have an episode dedicated
to the wedding
because there's a lot.
Yeah. There's some things I like no, I don't even think I'm not going to think of. Like, thank God.
Maybe we'll do like a group therapy wedding planning session with Dad.
I need a series for that.
Yeah, that might need extra parts.
Yeah,
extra parts. But also, he's going to be like all upset that we're talking about him on here.
You listening?
Actually, I don't think he did. It's funny you mentioned that. Neither one of them have mentioned anything, but Mom listened to the episode I talked about, like Millie's birth story.
Yeah.
And she sends me a text and was just like, I'm so proud of you, yada, yada. And she's like, just so you know, I didn't have an epidural with Lindsey and it was terrible. LOL. I know how you feel. And I was like, this was helpful information for me to know, like before I had this experience. Like I had no idea that you didn't have an epidural for Lindsey. And she's like, oh, yes. And I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. No one talks about it.
I don't get that either.
So I was annoyed at her. Yeah. Well, thanks, Lydia.
Well, it wouldn't
anything
you,
else?
Though, because you were getting
no, but at least I would have asked sooner. That could have helped.
Well, now you know for the next time.
Sure do. Anything else in terms of last week's episode or engagement, or are you just like, I'm done talking about it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sounds about right.
You guys did awesome. Mom and Dad did a wonderful job. John and I are very lucky to have you all. And shout out to Kevin who showed up too in the 11th hour.
Yes.
And Louie.
being
was
the hostess with the
honestly the
mostest.
biggest shock was looking out the window and seeing Louis run around the backyard,
I know.
having a bad
You like came down and you were like, how did Louis get here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Big entertainer he is.
Yes.
Okay, moving on into sisterhood. Very excited to chat with both my sisters. And one of the reasons as to why I wanted to have you both on here is a couple reasons, actually. Number one, people always ask, like, are you going to have your sisters come on? Of course. Number two, I am about to have on a bunch of guests on Being Bubbly. And so I selfishly needed to work out the logistics to make sure it worked. And you two are my guinea pigs. So thank you. But lastly, and probably most important, like being a sister is a huge part of like my identity and who I am. And so I just felt like that was really important and I wanted to share with my audience. And so really excited to have both of you here and would love to hear just, I assume being a sister is part of both of your identities and like, what does it mean to be a sister?
Dutch, you want to go first?
I'll let you take it away, Juice.
Okay. So what's the first question? What does it mean to be a sister?
Yeah, like what does a sister mean to you?
Like me being a sister or having a
You
sister?
see the wheels turning in Lindsay's head. She's trying to figure out what the hell she's gonna
I'm prepared. I did do my notes, so Lindsay, good luck.
stress.
But Lindsay opened the document like literally 2 minutes before, and don't lie because we can see when you viewed it.
I viewed the history.
Yeah. I guess for me, being a sister means it's all about really like moving on and showing up for each other. I mean, we've had our fair share of arguments and all of that, but it's about like when those happen, being able to just move past that and show up for each other when something else comes up. Having someone that you can always call when you need someone to yell at for something indirectly, call to talk about the other sister, call to talk about mom and dad, work stuff, life
Feeling
stuff.
attached.
Why?
Why are you feeling attacked?
I don't know. I feel like that's like directed at me, like calling to talk about the other sister.
People talk about Taylor all the time.
It's not all about you, Lindsay.
And I'm sure, and I know the two of you talk about me.
Yeah.
Ton.
Actually,
really
no, we
don't.
probably don't.
Another question that I have, or one question later, a comment that I have that I work very hard at. But
Okay.
but yeah, no, I think having just like that built-in best friend always, and like we can go days and days without talking to each other, but when we do talk, like even just like right now, it's just like the natural.
Do we ever go days and days without talking to each other?
I feel like I'll go a couple days maybe without talking to Lindsay, not you.
No, I call it together every day.
No one actually let's clear this up. No one wants to talk to
No, I
me
don't wanna talk to
anymore.
you.
They just want to see and talk to Millie.
Excuse me.
Oh, Sam, you do call and say how like you will ask me one question and then you'll subtly hint at
Yeah,
where's
but I at
Millie?
least start off, how are you? How was work?
You do.
And
Lindsay does not give me the grace of like I'll turn the FaceTime on and it'll be my face and she's like, "Where's Mo?"
Yeah, I don't do that.
I don't want to talk to you.
Do. But anyway, Samantha, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
Love
Lindsay?
that. Yeah, built-in best friends, I would say. So I don't know. Like, I've never like really put it into words. Like, what does a sister mean?
No, I know. I thought about that too. I think for me, it was, and I'm still like learning like what it means to be a sister just by like as we go and move into each new phase and just seeing how like we all like Sam, I mean, you said it beautifully, like show up for each other. I think for me, like something that sticks out is just like how the two of you were kind of my like happy place and rock when I needed you the most in terms of like my pregnancy and then obviously with like Millie and her being in the NICU. And so seeing how the two of you supported me and my family and your love for her just like is what embodies like being a sister. And again, like built-in best friend. I think like that's the biggest, and like we'll talk about this next. This is actually a great segue. The difference for me of like growing up as sisters to us being sisters now is like when we were younger, we were just sisters, but I don't think like that friend piece was there. No, like we were sisters because
especially room, like we had to be.
Yeah, you
I
had
would
to
even
be.
say like especially Lindsay and I, because like our age gap, like
how many years? I wanted to ask before, but I didn't want to sound dumb that I couldn't do the mental
I think
math.
we're almost 6. Like we're 5, but like she's January and March. Yes.
No, we're 6.
He's not born in 97. You were born in 91.
We're
Right.
6.
But I was
6.
turning, I remember the article. I was 5 in the newspaper article because it was Sam's like first baby.
You were about to turn
About to
6.
turn
You were
6.
like,
Yeah. That's
we're 6 years.
6 years. Okay. And then me and Lindsay are 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
You and I are 4.
So I would say, Sam, you and I growing up were closer in the sense that, like, one, I was always grounded. And so I always, like, when you're grounded, what else are you going to do besides play, like, Barbies with your little sister? That's how I spent most of my elementary, middle, and high school. We weren't playing with Barbies in high school, though. Let's be clear. So you and I were probably the closest.
I mean,
Okay.
I was playing with them probably through middle, like 5th,
Okay.
8th grade.
We're going to cut that out.
I was younger, so it was cool for me.
But then I was grounded.
The dream bus, dream
Barbies.
dream,
Oh,
or
yeah.
dream Barbie or whatever.
Forgot about that. Yeah, she did have an RV.
Yeah, I did.
Interesting. But no, so in terms of like memories of like getting along, like I was always with Samantha. And then Lindsay, you and I felt like in high school weren't like, I would say we were pretty close in the sense that like your friend group always
Yeah.
included me and stuff. And then obviously we were on like the tennis team together for 2 years. There was overlap. But you always acknowledged me in the hallways. Like I remember one moment you ratted me out to mom and dad for having a party. But
Like,
other
really
than that,
ticked me
I
off
don't
about
think.
something.
Yeah, and then when you ratted on me, I ran upstairs and got your bong out of under your bed and told mom and showed mom, and she was like, "Oh, you have paraphernalia in this house?" Yeah, that was big. Yeah, Lindsay would like rat on me.
One time. Like that.
I feel yeah, one time it was really bad.
Y'all played yourselves. You guys were stupid and got in trouble on your own, though, half the time.
Yeah.
Fair.
Like, you didn't even need to rat on each other.
No, fair.
Yeah.
But it's just weird to see how I get and to what you said before, Lindsay, like I never really thought about it until I sat down. I was like, okay, what the hell are we going to talk about in this episode? But there has been such a huge shift. And I think like, because I was kind of going through and being like, okay, like when we're kids, we're like close because you have to be and you live in the same roof. But then, and let me know if you disagree, like college, I don't really remember, not that we didn't have a relationship, but like I just don't remember talking or like I really don't.
Mine was FaceTime and like Zoom and all of that.
Yeah.
I'd say like I think of like growing up with you two in like very different stages. Taylor and I, we were very close when we were little because we'd play Barbies, we'd play Kim Possible upstairs in the family room.
Okay, you're really not helping my
Because they're really cool.
my cool. We had choreographed dance to Allie and AJ and Sam rode Heelys.
I was actually just talking about a potential breakup song with someone the other day.
I had a talent show to that song. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Sam and I would practice a choreographed dance where she was the only one who had Heelys, so I was in my socks, but we did it together in her.
But we were close. And yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. And then you two got close when you went to high school, and I was kind of like left in the background of, and I got.
But you also were skiing and doing your own thing.
I was doing my own thing, but like I remember I would try and come upstairs into the living room with you and the twins and Natalie, and you'd like get out and like yell at me to like not be up there. And I got.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. And I got like very upset because I was like, oh, we used to be. I mean, I think every little sister goes through that phase though. And then like Lindsay and I.
Lindsay, you were pretty inclusive of me.
Me? You were always with us when we were at like our house in the family room.
I would walk down the hallways and hear, "Hey, Dayla, hey, Dayla."
Me.
Yeah, no, you were.
I didn't have that, but thank you so much.
I'm very sorry.
That's okay. But then like Lindsay and I feel like just were such a weird age difference.
We didn't have anything like in common.
A lot.
No, but then you and I got really, really close when I was probably my latter half of high school because you came back home and you were in Fairfield for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we would just see each other all the time. But then
where was I?
You were still
at
college.
Oh, okay.
And then even when I went to college and I was going back to Stratton every weekend, like you and I would Grizzlies every weekend together, and like you got very, very close through that.
I didn't know this.
You were in Tampa.
You were in Tampa.
Like you stayed down in Tampa a few years, so you weren't around.
Yeah,
No, I know that.
So yeah, and that time, like I got very close with Lindsay because she was here.
Oh, I wasn't aware of this bond.
So sorry.
It's okay.
I don't know what to tell you. Would you have rather me just been like on my own?
No, I just didn't really think about that.
Lindsay was coming to Vermont every weekend, and I was always there working. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And then what was the next phase of your life? You were going through all these different phases. When do I come in?
You came back in when I moved to Boston, obviously, and you lived like not even half a block from me. That we were a little too close for comfort at that point.
And Sam and I taught in the same building together for years. So we worked together and then lived a block from each other.
Yeah.
So we were very close. But I was still, Lindsay, I still called you almost every day.
Yeah. You guys got very close again.
Yeah, you would get mad when we would talk about it.
Yeah, you and Kevin would get mad when we talk about school
like
stuff.
You'd be like, any time we were like together, like on the phone, it's like, oh, Samantha, da 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 da, and it's like, oh, Taylor, did you know, da 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 da, and I'm like, I don't know who the kids are, who your coworkers are. Like it was just like always cool. Oh, kind of how like Sam, like you and Dad are Stratton. Like that's just like okay.
Yeah. No.
And kind of how Sam, you and I, when Lindsay talks about work, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
Don't talk about work.
But you say, Lindsay, you talk to us as if we know who's every so-and-so is, what the deal is, what time of year, the season.
Season means, I still don't know.
Fall, spring, winter, summer. Like, I don't know. But yeah, you talk about work a lot.
Sorry.
It does. It's like majority of my life. Which is
I get up, go to work. 9, 10 p.m. I'm still working. Like it's literally life.
Yeah, it is. I'd say now though with our relationships, and I pride myself on this, I'm very, very good at, and I don't like to use Kevin's term of puppet master, but I do think I do a good job at positioning myself in the 2v1s. Whenever there's like 2 of us versus 1, like 2 of us are mad at 1, I do a very good job at making sure I'm in that too. You don't even know it, but I do.
No, Lindsay, you and Lindsay argue all the time.
Lindsay and I do not argue.
That 100% is true. You guys are always in Vermont mad at each other.
Okay.
Mine is always involved and you are very upset with each other.
Yeah. Not always.
I would say I argue the least out of the 3 of us.
Well, Sam and I are also like more similar personality style. So when we do get into like a fight, it is a fight. And it's always alcohol induced. Almost always.
Usually at Saturday night in Vermont. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that. But I'm referring more to like calling the other up to be like, this one's being annoying. Like, I feel like I'm always the one like calling or being called to be like, this sister's. I position
I'll argue and say that I am too.
But you and Lindsay already said before that like the 2 of you don't talk about me.
Yeah.
But I'm with each of you about the other frequently.
No, I think I like not lately. I think the only like negative thing I've said is like this engagement better freaking happen like ASAP because I am done.
Talk to John about that. He's actually walking in a minute because I just watched him.
Oh, excellent. I know I'm waiting for Kevin to knock on the door with Millie. He already asked what can she eat for dinner. That's what I said. Yeah, I would think that I think I argue the least.
You don't argue, but you get very upset.
Yes.
You're more sensitive to things.
Yes.
But you don't argue. No, Lindsay and I are the only 2 that like really argue with each other. And I think maybe you and Lindsay argue a little bit, but
we do.
I think the last time we had a fight was in Vermont. You weren't even in Vermont, but I went skiing in my ski gloves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, and I was so pissed you got to Sam first. You told her about it.
I was there.
And then
it was about No, it was about Florida. No, she wasn't.
Oh, I was thinking of the ski goggles.
Oh, no, I was talking about Florida.
Oh, so you had your fair share of arguments this year in Vermont. It wasn't just me.
Too. Yeah.
He often gets in the arguments.
Who is the most confrontational?
That's a question later.
Yeah. All right. Switching gears a little bit. Before we do, how do we all show up as sisters because we talked a lot about showing up, especially like new milestones and things like that. So how do we show up as sisters?
I respond to the babysitting
And
request.
this is
Was there a lot?
Lindsey does respond to babysitting requests or will input herself into a scenario to become the babysitter.
Yeah, Lindsey hijacks like all of my opportunities to have move for like a night. Like, just, I'll come up. I'm like, I'm very capable. I'm right here. Lindsey just sneaks her way in, but it's fine. Because as Lindsey likes to point out, I can see her every single day if I wanted to.
You can.
Okay, but I also think Taylor and Kevin don't want me showing up in their home every single day to see her. And I also do work.
You're moving down the street.
I am moving down the
Literally
street.
can see her every single day.
Yeah, she could.
I could, but I also work.
So could you. You could move to
To
Boston.
Boston.
No, maybe. No, but maybe. I still have drinks.
How we can show up for each other is all move to Boston. All move to Hingham.
I'll move to Hingham.
No.
I think Kevin would murder me if everyone relocated here.
So I'll move to Hingham.
But everyone gets there before you and Kevin get there, though.
Oh,
That would send
I'm
him
gonna
over
start
the edge.
looking up Hingham rentals right now.
Send him real estate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I know.
gosh. All right. Let's talk about the queen, the princess, the reason we're all here. Miss Millie and Morris, ma'am. Both of you are such amazing aunties to her, and I know that you just want to gush and talk about what she means to you both. So the floor is yours.
Duchess,
Talk-
this is your time to
Talk to
shine.
me about how. Talk to me about how perfect my daughter is.
Most
That
perfect
photo
girl
is-
in the entire world. Angel on earth. Does no wrong.
Also,
how's
you
that little
can't
scratch
hear
on
her.
your face?
She's screaming right now.
She's screaming right now. I can't hear her, so I don't
Yeah.
think you're a liar. What it comes down to. My scratch is healed. 2 in a row. She's drawn blood, but that's her mom's fault for not cutting her nails. Yeah.
That one.
She's like my little best
Yeah,
friend.
sorry.
Little built-in best. It makes
She
my
is.
day. My little FaceTimes at 7 a.m. saying goodnight, see her like little wave at her. Dun,
Both
dun.
of you have access
Yeah.
to her camera, which I don't know if I recommend that to
Oh, I
anyone.
watch it all the time.
I know. I will be in this room and I'll hear you guys talk to her through her camera in
And
the
she
other room.
turns right over and just
And
like
she's just
waves.
sitting there waving.
Close.
Yep.
She knows when you're watching.
She sure does.
And John always tells me, he goes, "Why are you watching her?" I was like, "Because I just want to see what she's doing." And half the time she's just asleep, but I zoom in. Look at
Check
her
in on her.
teeth.
What is one thing that surprised you about being an aunt? And this, I have no skin in the game because I'm not an aunt, so I don't know.
I think,
yet.
well, obviously, and it's hard for Sam and I to say. Sorry, Sam, for like putting words in your mouth here, but like loving her, like I don't know, like I can't imagine like loving someone else, like another baby, like my own kid, like
I
as
know.
much as I love her, which I'm sure it will like. I don't know.
You
You
will.
love
No,
your
I
own
don't
kid
know
as
that, like,
much.
will go down, like
But
nobody,
no, I
you
get
know,
it,
like
yeah.
it's like, well, I
No,
love
I
my two
know.
baby, like I can't imagine like loving like my own baby like more than I already love Millie. Like,
No, and like that,
that's-
it's like that classic stereotype of like you think your baby's the cutest, and I'm always like, okay, like there's there's cute babies and there's cute babies. Moo is the cutest thing, and I will die on that hill. And anyone that tries to tell us otherwise, like, done. Like
She is very cute now. When she was born, I was like, she's cute. And Lindsay was like, she's the cutest thing.
no,
I'm
she
like,
had like a
okay,
little
well,
button
she's-
nose, like she had like the perfect nose, but she was like pretty. She wasn't like some, they come out and you're like,
she had jet black hair
so did I.
and a cone head.
fix that. That was corrected.
It was corrected. Thank you to the helmet.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
What?
think just
So-
getting to see her change so much and all her milestones that she makes, and like, I mean, you made that's actually right over there, the calendar that you made, and like seeing the differences like each month in that first year was very
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I didn't realize they changed so much.
she sure does. I even like within a few days, like today, she was like nonstop babbling. And I'm like, she's never really done that before. Where it was just like all these different new sounds, like all of a sudden they came out of nowhere. And I was just like, oh my God, you weren't doing that yesterday. So she's constantly like changing.
Mm-hmm.
What, and this is something I think about, and I talked about it in one of the episodes about pregnancy, but so obviously her birth experience was not what I had planned or what I had expected. And like something I didn't think about till after the fact was like she was the first baby for all of us. So she was the first grandchild. She was the first niece or nephew. Like, how was that experience that we had of her not having a typical normal birth where like you come see me and her in like the hospital room and then we're home a day later? How was that for you? Did that surprise you? Like,
because it was like I basically moved into your home. Like I was like, I'm coming to
yeah,
Boston tomorrow. Like I'm at a birthday party tonight and I can't come up, but I'm coming tomorrow. And I basically like, packed for 10 days. Um, yeah, like, I don't know. Like I think I was just stressed out because like you were stressed and like nobody knows like what's happening. But we've never been in
yeah,
this experience or scenario before. So like seeing like your sister like hooked up to like all this shit and like, when you decel and like all these nurses run in, they're like moving you, and it's just like, wait, like what is happening? Like it was just
yeah,
alarming and like stressful and like scary. And it's like, okay. And then it was like a week almost, and it was like, when is this baby coming? Like, why are we why are we still here? Like nothing's happening, So I think that was just different. And
yeah.
I mean, we were fully prepared to like have Christmas dinner in your house, like without you, and I mean, I don't, and then just like when
No,
she
I know.
was born, like we couldn't hold her. She was like in her little
Yeah,
box.
she's in a little
And
box.
they were like, oh, like tomorrow. And I was like, I'm staying. And mom and dad, like, you're coming home. Like, you're coming back to Connecticut Christmas Eve. Like, you can't,
They
like,
had to
they like
drag you.
dragged me out of there. It's like that. And like then having to wait because like I was like, if I'm coming up there again, like I'm like not letting her go. Like they would have to like force me out of the hospital, the NICU, because like I wouldn't put her down.
Sure.
So like I didn't come back up until she was finally home. And then like once I was there,
Yeah. Oh, that's
Sam
right.
came.
Yeah. Sam, you came to,
I went a couple times, yeah, to the NICU.
yeah.
To go and just like sit with her and hold her. And I think like being there through like when you first got like checked in, I think I was the first one that showed up at the hospital because Kevin was not
Yes.
capable, we'll say at the time.
Yes.
And just like almost I think every day going back and just like, I mean, Lindsey said it really well, seeing you hooked up to everything. I was in there too when they did the veins and they were like trying to put the IV in, and like I was just like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. Like watching you go through that. Just because I'm like
Literally
that just
excruciating.
yeah. Um, but then when she came, and I don't know if you said it in your original episode of how it was really Lindsey who induced the labor through her massage, her hand massage.
Yes, she
And
did give me a hand massage
like
that in
I
research after that
Yeah.
induces.
yeah.
But also sorry. But also you're welcome.
Yeah.
But I think like when it finally happened and like she came and like when we got to go meet her and she was in her little box and she's got all the tubes up and everything. Like what hurt me the most was knowing that you guys were going to go home without her. And like just
Yeah.
knowing that that was going to be really hard for you guys. And like Lindsey said, we were being told we can't stay and that we had to go
Everything
home
was
for
like
Christmas.
draped over her box when I met her. Like I was like, she's coming with me.
Sobbing.
Yeah.
Saying I'm so sorry to the NICU doctors and nurses. And they're like, it's okay. I'm like, no, she's
It's like Meredith Grey when she steals Zola from like runs through the basement like that.
Her
Lindsey would have been rolling her out. But I mean, I think we all knew like Millie was gonna do just fine in the NICU
yeah.
and she needed her time. She's like her auntie. She's strong. And
Yes. Yes, you were sick as a baby.
she was gonna be just fine. And she was gonna come out when she was ready to come home.
And here she
And
is.
here she is. And life has not been the same.
No, I like can't think of life prior to
I said
her.
that to
It's
you
so
like
crazy.
a few weeks ago. I think I was like, I don't remember like life before Moo. Like
I
can't.
know.
And she like wasn't here. It's like we do.
Like when I would come over, like what would we do? Like why was I coming over all the time? Like I know why I come over
Drink
now
wine
to
and
like
vent about work.
yeah.
No, I know.
I still
You
do,
took the
but
Moo. I know.
now there's
Yeah.
a Moo.
Now there's a Moo.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, and if I were to ever have a boy, or let's say Samantha has a boy and or Lindsey has a boy, it would be different. Because I always wonder that, because like a little girl is a little girl. Like I feel like there's like a difference there.
I don't think for me, I do think for Lindsay.
Like,
I
you
agree with that.
You
I
are
agree
a
with that.
lot. Like you
I thought
want
about
to
that today.
buy, you're gonna buy all the
But then
dresses, all the things. Like
I saw Lindsay with baby Theo and
oh
Moo
yeah,
got
last
very
weekend.
jealous.
And she did
Yeah.
not like it.
Yeah.
But then like we went out like for lunch after, Sam, Rob, and I, my friend Sam, and baby Theo. And like I was like, give him to me. And like he sat in my lap for like, and I was like playing with it. Like,
I know.
so like I don't like I love
I mean, I think it's just fitting that the first is
and my
Millie,
goddaughter.
and she's a girl. Yes, only 53 minutes and 31 seconds in, and Lindsay makes it known that she is the godmother.
Millie Ann is named,
Godmother
she's
Duchess.
named after me, Lindsey Ann.
She is.
She is.
She is.
Mm-hmm. But I think like a boy is harder or more challenging to spoil in the way that you spoil Millie. Like you buy her all like cute outfits and the little like things, pink, and like you're very into pink. Whereas like I think a boy would be a little
I might
different.
struggle with buying things. She wasn't even here yet, and I had a little Forest Friends tea set for her because that was the theme of her nursery. And Dad's like, why did
She actually was trying to get into that the other day. I was like, no,
it's tin?
fragile.
She can do it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was porcelain.
No, I think double check that. I think it's tin. But Dad was like, why did you buy this for her? She's not even born yet. And I was like, because we'll be doing this in like a year.
You wanted to get the tricycle too at that time too, and I was like, you called me,
did.
Lindsay, she will not ride a tricycle for over a year. Get out of the store.
And I did give that to her this past Christmas though, so she does have the tricycle.
You did.
The Benwood.
You did.
Tricycle.
She is. She's still not big enough to ride it yet. Okay. So on theme and on topic, I felt like it was appropriate to have a special guest join us. Can you say hi?
Hello.
You're talking about being an auntie to you.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Now you tell us, what auntie do you like better?
Dutchie. Can you say Dutchie? Put up to the mic.
Candies and fries. Yeah, I know.
That sounded like an S.
Can we lower the mic, please? We can't hear
Okay,
you.
let's get into the game.
Yeah, but yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, Millie. Let's get into the game. I am going to say a statement or a question, and then we have to say which sister goes with said
Can we
statement.
say ourselves?
Yes. Which sister is most non-confrontational? I would agree. Which sister is most confrontational?
Lindsay.
Yeah, but sometimes it can be Sam.
Yeah.
That one depends, but probably me.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Yes, I can also get very confrontational.
Okay. Which sister is Dad's favorite? Yes, but let's ask that question in a year from now when the wedding.
It'll still be me because I'm having a wedding in his homeland.
That's
I am
his
the
office.
black sheep.
Which sister is, yes, and Lindsay likes to pull that out after a couple glasses of wine or a couple Cosmos that she's the black sheep.
He claims one of us said.
None of us have
ever called her that, and she claims. I think she said I said it at like Grizzlies one afternoon.
I think you're
She's
right.
Like, Sam called me the black sheep, and I'm like, I've never said that phrase.
Yep. So that's always fun. Which one of us is Mom's favorite?
You, Taylor.
I would say me, but you and Mom, Lindsay, Duchess and Lydia time.
Yeah.
But I'm still the favorite. Like when I come, she makes steak and fries. Like she pulls out all the stops.
Favorite.
When Moo and I come to, yeah. Okay, that's fair. Which sister gives the best advice?
Me?
I think
No, I don't think I come for advice.
I think it depends on.
Yeah, Lindsay doesn't ask for advice. Lindsay gives the most unwarranted and maybe unwanted advice.
Unsolicited
unsolicited.
Advice.
That's the word. Lindsay's big on that.
Yeah. Or unsolicited feedback, opinions.
Yeah. So
unsolicited everything.
It's
all right. You gotta hear it.
I'm very transparent.
Just if the delivery sometimes could maybe be soft.
Like I mean it. I don't sugarcoat it. Who has time for that?
But do you want to receive feedback that same way?
Okay.
And that's her. And now it's Taylor. That was a great mimic of what
And
Taylor,
we will clip this. We will have this.
what Lindsey says when you do give her feedback. She'll just be like, okay.
Yes. Yep.
And then
Okay. Not even an okay. Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes a period.
And then we don't hear from her.
Yeah. Yep. She ices
Just
us
ices
out.
you out.
Which sister is more responsible with finances?
Me.
Yeah. See? Yeah, Taylor's not.
I would say Samantha.
I've gotten a lot better.
Or
What are you
not.
talking about?
Neither are you. You just bought a Loewe bag and AirPods or whatever they
And a
are.
$500 suitcase.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not good at your finance.
I work really hard.
You, no one's saying you don't, but no, you are not the best at your finances.
No.
You're getting better, but no, I'm very good. I'm very good with my money.
Treating yourself a little bit.
Treat
Treat
yourself.
yourself.
Parks and Rec. Which sister are you most likely to send nostalgia 90s content to?
Yeah, you and I send it back and forth, Taylor.
I was gonna say, this is Sam for me. Lindsey, you were like obviously born in the 90s, but like you're not big into the nostalgia.
I mean, you had never seen Holiday in the Sun until
Samantha, I was just going to say, Lindsey watched Holiday in the Sun for the first time last year.
When I was like
went
younger,
to
but
the
I didn't like remember. I knew they were in the Bahamas.
Alarming. That's the same thing as not seeing it if you don't remember.
No,
you can't quote it.
I want. And this winter break, I want Jordan. I need I need a martini. Stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, great movie.
Which sister is more likely to send you a meme or a TikTok?
Lindsey's, yeah, but Lindsey's also very big into sending them on like the family Insta chat. Like,
Well, yeah,
Lindsey
like
sends a bunch of
Instagram.
stuff too.
Yeah, I would say Lindsey's the most.
You send you always send good ones, but you send a lot.
You're always sending videos.
No, I like them.
No, we like
I'm
them.
just saying.
Which sister is more likely to comment on your social media post first?
Taylor.
I would say Sam and me over Lindsey.
Yeah, Lindsey doesn't comment. Can we throw in a rogue vote and put Holly?
Yeah, Holly.
Yes.
Holly would be the first, actually.
Holly Johnson Cloutier. I posted a picture of us at the beach today, and she was like, I heard this is a happening beach in Duxbury. I'm like, Holly, you live in Connecticut. How did you hear this is a happening beach in Duxbury?
Holly knows everything.
She's all over
in the know.
The social. Which sister has the most embarrassing pictures and videos?
Do you mean like has them in the archives of the others?
Which one of us has like the answer is me. You both have very incriminating pictures and videos of me.
I have a lot of Lindsey too. I have a drunk Duchess.
That's true.
There's not many of me. This year you guys got your first one. It was
when you fell on the driveway. Yeah. Lindsey and me might be tied.
And I house most of them.
You have a lot of videos of me.
I don't think I have
I'm in the right place at the right
pictures of Taylor though.
You send them all the time. You have the Corona lime.
Yeah, classics.
Nothing that recent.
No. Because I'm a mother. I'm behaved. I guess this is in different ways. Which sister is more likely to spoil nieces and nephews?
Lindsey.
Yeah. But in terms of like shopping, yes, Lindsey. But in terms of like experiences, I would say Samantha.
What experiences?
Like I come in. I mean, I wouldn't say this is spoiling, but like I'll come and just pick Millie up and take her on errands with me. It's not spoiling, but like I do just like pick her up and like we'll go places.
Lindsey already has Millie's trip to Disney World when she turns.
I have that planned. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's Lindsey. You can't hear me?
No, when you lean back.
I just took her to St. Leonard's for ice cream. That was an adventure.
That was an adventure.
I give that one to Lindsey. Lindsey is spoiling her the most.
Yeah.
Which Which sister is always down for a little happy hour? Which sister is always down for a little happy hour?
All of us.
I would say you two the most.
You are less.
As I'm coming off a 3-day bender here.
Yeah. I believe it was 4.
Yeah, you said 4 earlier. That's okay.
Which sister would you call in an emergency?
Not Taylor. Doesn't answer her phone.
Yeah, not Yeah, not you.
Way to bring that up because I'm gonna get yelled at for
You
that.
don't answer your phone.
No.
Myself.
I would call Lindsay, obvious. Lindsay calling herself an emergency. I'm reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think by proximity, Samantha would be
Yeah.
my call because she's so close. But if it was an emergency of like, I need emergency advice or emergency, someone needs to do something, Lindsay.
Like, you're my emergency contact, Taylor, because you're just closer.
I am very honored. However,
I know, not the best.
I don't know if I'm the best at the job.
I should change it to John, but I'm gonna just be honest. I don't know his phone number off the top of my head. And so when they ask for it, I know yours and I don't feel like looking at my phone for it. So I just put you or dad, but
That is very
it makes
fair.
more sense to have you for closer.
I would really think about having me as your
No, Lindsay, I remember when I was sick in Vermont and like had that allergic reaction when I was living up there in the summer in college and I like could not breathe. And Lindsay was ready to like get a helicopter to land at the mountain to pick me up.
She was.
And I was like, I can drive home. It's okay.
And last, but certainly not least, which sister was more nervous to do this podcast?
Lindsay.
I don't like talking.
Lindsay. Well, again, then
It's
being on
not.
a podcast is not
I
for
mean, you
you.
didn't give a choice.
You didn't have an
No.
option. I said coming on. That's true.
Hi, Moo.
That's true.
Hi,
Did you get to see Moo?
Yeah.
Can you say
Thanks,
Duchess?
girlies.
Dutchie? Can you say Dutchie?
Yeah.
Sammy.
Ladies, this is actually the longest I have gone, simply probably because I'm not talking to myself. I'm actually talking to other people. But thank you both for being on here. And Moo, do you have anything to say?
Nope. She has something to say.
And we are going to sign off and end like we normally do every episode. Lindsay, do you have your beverage? Again, she doesn't listen
read the
because she
email.
doesn't understand.
I've
Nor
gone
does
out
she
a
read
couple
the
days,
emails
so I'm
because I
just
did
gonna
say
have
have a
that
drink
water.
ready.
Don't you always
And
say
that's
it's
there
bad
just by
luck to
chance.
cheers with
Yeah,
water?
you do say it's bad.
It is
No,
bad
you can
luck to
cheers.
cheers
That's
with water.
okay.
You're right. That is the thing.
Okay. Millie.
Bye, Moo.
Well, thank you both for coming on. And let's hope that this actually worked because I have no idea if it did.
Otherwise, it was a big waste of an hour.
Big waste of an hour. And even more so because we paused a couple times.
Cheers.
But cheers to you ladies, my two favorite ladies in the world. And cheers to being bubbly.
Cheers. Thanks for having us.
Bye.